Sawadee and welcome to be my guest. The program which brings you successful stories of entrepreneurs and organizations in both domestic and international arenas. I'm Sarosha Ratanapian. And engineering has been one of the careers with the high mobility in personnel and arson once the AEC has been established in 2016. And in today's program, we are granted an opportunity to talk to Associate Professor Wisanu, who will address the current situation of Thai engineering students and challenges they will face once they graduate, toppling with roles of the educational institutions in producing institution students to correspond with the market demand. So please stay tuned on this week's program. Currently, I am granted an opportunity with Associate Professor Dr. Wisanu Miyu, the Vice President of Mahanakon University of Technology. So first of all, the topic of today and the focus of our discussion and interview today will be about the engineering situation of Thai engineering graduates in Thailand. So from your perspectives, could you elaborate more, or what do you think about the current situation of Thai engineering graduates?
So you think, if you look at our engineering in Thailand, we built and we do a lot of things for the past 30-40 years to develop this country. Okay, so at the moment we still have a strong demand of new engineering students or new engineering graduates. So what sectors that you see the most? You see the building industries. You see, we build a lot of new roads, we build a lot of high-speed train, we're talking about building a new factory, we're talking about factory automation, we talk about electric car, we talk about a lot of new industries that we have to use engineers.
Okay, so that wise engineering is in high demand right now.
Yes.
Okay, and different sectors in Thailand, not only in Thailand actually, but in also other countries.
Yeah, in AEC.
Okay.
In AEC. Now we're not talking about only in Thailand. We think about like if now we have electricity produced from Laos.
Okay.
It's not only in Thailand. In our neighbors, right? Laos, we're thinking about investment in Myanmar. Tuai area, right? That's what we're talking about. To build power plant, to build a lot of new industries there.
Okay, so apart from Thai perspectives on the importance of engineering, students or graduates, now what about the arts and view, towards Thai engineering students?
Think of, if you look at our engineers, you look at their abilities first. I can ask you that. Do you believe in our engineers? The answer would be yes, right? I think they are quite smart. They're capable of doing many things. The problem that I see is only the ability to use English. That seems to be their limitation. Right. Thai people got a limitation only English usage. Apart from that, I think new knowledge. We use the same textbook. We use the same technology around the world.
Oh, okay. So from your perspectives, what a good engineer students should be?
Oh, they should be able to be up to date with the technology, right? They should be able to communicate. Communication is very important for engineers. You're not going to do for example, we want to build a power plant, but we cannot communicate to the people living around that area to make sure that it's safe to have it. Yeah, right. Communication skills seem to be one of the important things. Right? You're not going to build something that people don't like, people don't want. So you see that this is very important. You're not making some dangerous things. You're talking about like automatic teller machine 20-30 years ago. No one wants to use it. We're quite scared of using ATM, right? Because we think like put one card in, get the money out. Do we believe that we still have money in there? Do you believe that they got, let's say that you want 10,000 baht to come out of the machine. can we trust the machine to have 10 notes of 1,000 baht note?
Okay, so that means customers nowadays and consumers nowadays are changing,
Yes,
okay,
that's
their
right.
behaviors.
Yes, that's right.
And this comes to the responsibility of the engineers in order to open the opportunity.
Yes, that's right. If you think about like now we have a prompt pay engineering transaction, you don't have money, except real money. You
Okay.
do transaction over kind of the system, like the internet. Can we trust the system? Can the engineer design the system that is safe for us? We do not lose money,
Okay.
right? So this is very important for engineers to have a real knowledge to
Okay.
be able to build such a system.
And in current situation in 21st century like this, so what engineer, can do in order to ensure that every customers, would trust in the products and services that they are consuming nowadays?
I think there's some sort of standard, right? Before we do some things, we have a standard. You heard about ISO standard, you heard about a lot of engineering standard. We have a protocol, we have ethic and standard of many things to make sure that the system is in place.
Okay. And talking about the systems or the standards, of qualifications of students, engineering students. So do you observe any problems or challenges, of student standards in Thailand in engineering industry?
I think they might get used to our traditional engineering.
I see.
Means like traditional engineering, if you are a mechanical engineer, you're just making some kind of machine, right? That is the concept of engineering. The traditional engineering. And you work with the civil, you're building, people will think that you're going to build brick, roads, laying bricks, building roads, building. But now engineering for the new generation of engineers, you should be able to do many, many tasks at the same time. No company would like to employ you as a one engineer work until you really, getting older and older.
I see. So could you give me some example of what an engineer, can do right now?
You see the engineer, right? You start working in the factory. The factory 10 or 15 years ago, you make making shoes that we wearing, handmade. A lot of things made by hand. You got stitching, gluing, whatever. But now we changing, we design and making a robot. Okay, a robot or a machine that can work with a human. It's not like we're not going to have human being. We still use human or labor, right, with the machine. So we can make robot and machine to work together.
Okay.
And it's safe. You know what I mean? It's not like a robot doesn't realize that this is my hand. The robot that does have to realize it's my hand.
Okay.
It won't hurt my hand too.
Okay.
So this is very important, right? Otherwise you're going to have a robot and then use your hand at the same time and it doesn't care about your hand.
Okay. So that means right now the world has been changing a lot due to engineering, industry.
You see that the robot that clean up the house, 10 years ago it seemed to be very expensive. Nowadays it's about 10,000 baht, right? So you're cleaning and everything.
So everything and innovation and products nowadays seems to be really cost saving.
Yes, that's right.
To consumers.
Yep.
Okay. Now can you comment a bit about, the occurrence of the change of engineering industry following the policy of 4.0, of Thai government?
So with our 4.0, we have to think about like robotics, automation, innovation. You think about the automation. Automation like 10 or 15 years ago is totally different from automation now. You look at your mobile phone. Who's going to think that everything is going to be in one hand, right? You can communicate, you can do many things. For example, at the moment, in my research laboratory, instead of I personally have to go down to the lab, all right, I can automate from my PC to control and to watch what is going on in my laboratory.
I see.
So I can basically sit down in my room, all right, and preparing my lecture notes or presentation or whatever. At the same time, the experiment still running in my lab.
Okay. This one is the example of an automation.
Automation. Do you think it saved my life? It saved my time? Instead I have to change my clothes and go down to the lab.
Okay.
All right. Instead of that, or instead of doing that, I go down and set up. I still have to go down and set it up. Okay. And then can program it to do experiment according to my need.
And I think, okay, and I surely believe that innovation also takes an account a very important role nowadays as well.
Yep.
Okay, so please
instead
tell us.
of that, I can run before, right? If I want to know some results over 24 hours, I personally have to stay here overnight to watch it. Now you can go back home, mobile, online, and watch it.
Okay.
And they can send result to my mobile phone.
Okay, so what should be, or what is the 21st century innovation right now from, your experiences?
The energy. If you look at energy sector, we were talking about how do we find a new source of energy, clean and not costly. Right? Petrol price is going up and down, depends on demand and supply. Right? And we have a greenhouse, a CO2. Right, CO2 emission that we don't want to have a CO2 emission too much. So if we try to control that, you see, like, instead of using fossil fuel, you can use solar cell, the newer clean kind of technology, clean kind of energy. So we still have to do research.
Okay.
And a lot of innovation to get involved with that.
Okay. And apart from the energy sector, so is there any, other sectors that, innovation takes place in order to improve our quality of lives?
Food industries. Instead of having food and cooking today and then it go off tomorrow, you can preserve food and have the same kind of quality, nutrition. You see, like, you have the same protein content as you can consume 10-20 years ago. You have to eat a lot. Now you can design your food or your food products.
Okay. So innovation surely takes place in different sectors: energy sector, food sector,
health sector.
Okay, and healthcare sector or services right now as well.
Yep.
Okay, and I believe that right now, people are best their life, on services and also innovation. So, as a teacher, as a professor, so how do you, prune your students in order to make sure that, they see the importance of innovation?
So we cannot really tell them, hey, this is a Thailand 4.0, and then wake up and have an innovation mind. We have to train them how to think.
Okay.
It's not to tell them. Right? We cannot tell them, okay, the government has a policy of Thailand 4.0 and then you should be an innovation person. So no, it doesn't work that way. You have to tell them, start teaching them. The way we teach have to be different from the way we taught them a long time ago. Right? It's not reading from the textbook.
Okay.
It's have to be interactive learning. Okay, we give an example of the case. For example, if I ask my students, once I used to ask my student to design a mobile restaurant. Think about this. You see a lot of restaurants on our footpath. Okay, they consume a lot, and they use water, and they throw the water to our drainage system, and it's not that good. Can we really design the sustainable and very green mobile restaurant?
Okay, so what you're doing right now is, teaching them, transferring knowledge to them in order to make them really adaptive, to the 21st century, change.
Yep.
Okay, but for now it's time for a short break. We're right back. We also learned more on institutions, educational institutions' roles in pruning students to be really, creative, really imaginative, and also innovative as well. So please stay tuned on Be My Guest.
Hey there, Michael here in wonderful Thailand to ask, given all the latest news, what do you think you know about Thailand? Looks like it's still business as usual, chilling out. Maybe grab some of the local food and check out the Thai scene. Perhaps partying a little bit with friends. trust in Thailand and have some fun.
And welcome back to Be My Guest. And I'm Sarosha Ratanapian and I'm still Associate Professor Dr. Visenu Miyu. During the last break, you have told us really clearly about the changing situation right now in the engineering industry, not only in Thailand, but also in arts and economic community as well. And I believe that one party that plays a vital role in improving these personnel must be university.
That's right.
So could you tell us a bit about roles of university in, engineering students' promotion?
If you look at the roles of university, it's not the place to teach only anymore. So it is a place, university should be the place that new students, mean the young generation, or the old students, the student that graduated 10 years ago, 15 years ago, they would like to come back and refresh their knowledge. So university have to play a very important role on this situation. You think about if you graduate 10 years ago, you don't have a computer like this. You don't have a computer language like this, all right? You don't have automation like this. You don't have new machine, new tools, new equipment. So they have to come back and refresh their knowledge.
Okay.
And for the young students, new coming, we have to prepare the curriculum, okay? Allow them to be involved in designing what they want to learn, what they want to know. It's not to fix them like, hey, this is what subject, subject A, go read an exam. It's not like that anymore. They have to have a chance to choose what they want to be, to blend what they think that it is important for them, for their futures.
Okay, so that means students nowadays, they have the opportunity and freedom to choose.
Yes, that's right, in certain degree.
I see, and the university has also opened opportunity for them to
Yes.
select a course that is
Yes,
suitable
that's right.
for the student as well.
We have electives, right? Many electives. We have a core subject, right?
I see.
And then we have many electives for them to choose.
Okay. Now coming back to the alumni first, all those engineering graduates who have already graduated and working right now. So how, university can refresh the ideas through what activities or campaigns?
We have a short course. Okay, we at university, at Mhana Khan University of Technology, we have different type of short course. For example, automatic control, how to use the boiler, how to control the boiler, or how to write a program for certain applications. We have many short courses for them to come back and update their knowledge.
Okay. So they're not, just ignored and left behind.
No.
Okay, by the university as well. Now, what about for the current students? Okay, you mentioned about the curriculum development, and change. So what was the reason, or what have been the reasons of changing, or have the curriculum development?
Think about this, right? We normally, traditionally, we have some subjects, okay, many subjects for students to study. And they might think that, okay, for example, I'm an electrical engineer. I don't really have to study this subject. They get bored. They might think this is not important. So we will bring them, okay, to see the importance of that subject. Okay, instead of having them, go through chapter by chapter, we will show them, how important, why certain engineer has to study on particular subject.
I see.
Why do we have to study mathematics? Why do we have to know physics? Why do we have to learn chemistry? For example, we have established Mhana Khan Institute of Innovation in these areas, right? So we'll teach chemistry, for example, throughout whatever chemistry on the kitchen. Instead of titration acid-base. Okay, acid, base. Now, we choose to prepare food and see what kind of food that got the acid content, what kind of food that have a basic content, and then if they blend them together, what reaction that will take place.
Okay. So this is only one part of the curriculum development that you bring ingredients in daily lives in order to make them more accessible.
Yep, that's right. Instead of study something that they cannot imagine of.
Okay.
Bring them, bring them to touch it. Okay, for example, another thing in chemistry in their life,
Uh-huh.
your hair shampoo, your cleanser, whatever that we use everyday life. We teach chemistry. We teach them how to make this kind of thing. When they go back home, you can make a detergent by yourself. When they go back home, they can have an SME business. Instead of, to go back, kids nowadays, they don't want to go to work for the companies only. They might think about, if they have a chance, they will have a startup.
Okay.
Through this, they might have the idea to start up some companies.
So that means MUT has been trying to bridge the gap between practice and also theory.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
right. Yep. We have seen some of our lectures. Okay, we produce not only we do research, and we bring research to market. For example, ozone. Okay, ozone generator that we use in to get rid of smell. Odor control using ozone. Here, they do research here, and they start selling. They have their own company.
Okay.
And students can work with them, and students can practice with them to build
I see.
that kind of machine.
So I'm wondering right now, so through the new curriculum development ways, I hear all means, so what students, can learn, that they cannot learn from the traditional approach?
From the traditional approach, you may have a textbook, a blackboard, and that's it, right? To go to laboratory, you go to certain kind of laboratory test, write a report, and that's it. For the new curriculum, we allow them to think before they go to do experiment.
Okay.
Think and plan before they go to do experiment. So they will come back home and think and have a result. That way, they might have thought beforehand. So it's different.
Okay. And apart from this aspect, so what the new curriculum development should be in order to support, the increasing demand of engineering students?
You think about that. With this kind of curriculum, lecturers have to pay a lot of attention, right? It's not a big classroom anymore. It's not a stand in front of the class.
Okay.
Before I used to be able to, stand up and 200 students, 100 students, 50 students, but now it's kind of hands-on.
I see.
So you have to have more lecturers to look after individual students.
Okay.
So individual students have individual needs. It's different, right?
And do students have to go on to have hands-on experiences, when they are doing courses here?
Yep, that's right. So they have laboratories, they have a project. Before they graduate from Mahanakon University of Technology, they have to do a project. Some student building a vendor machine, for the newspaper and things like that. So they have many kinds of experiences before they go out.
Okay. So apart from the roles of university in promoting these young engineering students, so what are the sectors that should be taken into account to take part in improving this personnel as well?
Companies. Okay. For the companies, they have to see the importance of knowledge update for their own staff. Okay. They should have a kind of refreshment program to send their engineers, to come back to universities, all right, to study and to update their knowledge. Not only that, we as a university can work with the companies to build a new knowledge or to start with the new innovation. We have some kind of companies that contact our university, and if they have problems, for example, if they want to do automation for the production of some things, so they come and consult us, and we start doing research and do R&D together.
Okay, so research and development is surely important, and then the company or industrial sector needs
They
to
got their needs, right?
see the importance,
Yeah.
as well, in order to make things, forward here.
They have needs. They come to the uni talk to the professors talk to the students, and we can work as a big team.
Okay, so could you share some of the students' successful projects, that you have done in the past?
We have, apart from the ozone things, we still have the robot. You see, with what we have robot that we send out, and we're making automation for the mushroom machine. Okay, instead of having, not how to grow mushroom, right? You need a humid air and to have to be certain temperature and humidity. Instead of letting them have a typical, hut to grow mushroom. Now we have automation
Okay, so it's all about the inputs of innovation and
That's right.
technology.
And now we can have, we can control much room to have products any time of the year.
Okay, so that means it also enhances,
Yes.
the productivity of
Yes,
mushroom.
that's right. Yeah.
Okay, product as well. Now, in terms of the perspectives of Thai educational institutions towards young engineering students right now.
Think about like we look at young engineers, we have to inspire them to see the importance of engineering. You see, like without engineers, we cannot build things. We cannot do only, let's say people might think like Thailand is so should with service industries. Looking at that, hotels and things like that, we still have to have a computer engineer to have a palm, to register, to tell them how good your hotel is, to write a program to look around like a 360-degree, to look around the room accommodation and things like that. This is our engineering.
Okay.
Like what else? To control, to have the kind of engineers to make a high the purity of a water system. Okay, we have problem with water all the time. You get time to time it's very drought. How can we convert seawater? Like Samui Island at the moment they don't have enough water, but can we convert seawater to normal water? It's engineering.
So undeniably, engineering is really important, and then it's also important for educational institutions to foster that, the notion that, engineering is important, to move the world. So last but not least, any final note for our viewers?
I would put this way, I think engineering is quite important, all right? And if you really love to see the change for the country, we have to build more, or have to build more engineers. University have to build more engineers, and we have to make our own technology. We cannot buy technology from overseas anymore.
Okay.
We have to develop our own technology throughout whatever R&D or innovation.
And
we work together. Yep.
Okay, it's there, and opportunity is there in our hand as well.
Yep, that's right.
Okay, and thank you very much for your time today. ขอบคุณค่ะ
ครับ สวัสดีครับ
The demands of engineering graduates in both domestic and international countries is intense, and the educational institutions are surely one major stakeholders who create efficient and sufficient supply to the personnel market. However, both challenges exist and opportunities pertain for those in the field. But that's all the time we have for Be My Guest this week. Thank you very much for watching us and tuning in on this program. For more information, please log on to thainews.prd.go.th/en. And I'm Sarosha Ratanapian. สวัสดีค่ะ